What is up, Go Savages? It is time for a tutorial. All right. So there's this Joseki, and it's like actually the most savage Joseki to ever grace the face of the earth. And that's because it's so simple and its strategy is epic. So let me explain what's going on. So we got this 3-3 point, which is the greatest point ever invented. And then you're like, well, isn't that like just going to get boxed in? Yes, it does. So your opponent plays here to press it down. And then you're going to go here. And then they're going to go here. Then you do this. And then they got an option. So they can go here or they can like go out this way, depending on like what direction they want to go in. And I'll explain that later. Um, but yeah, so it just goes like that. That's so simple. If they go this way, then you can come out like this, and then they're gonna want to get a base so that they actually like aren't gonna get threatened because you're reducing their like space to move around whenever you come this way. Alternatively, if they make this turn here, you can actually play like here or here to pincer this, and then you can force them to go this direction instead. And like I said, I'll show you like some positions where you would like want to do either one or the other. But this is my favorite thing ever. My favorite Joseki. Anyway, so whenever you do this move here, there's always the possibility that your opponent goes completely brain dead and then they play right here. Now, this should like, whenever you see this, you should instantly like feel this sense of relief because your opponent has no idea what they're doing. So, well, maybe not. Don't get too excited. Anyway, so haunting at the head of 2 and 3 is epic. So whenever they do this, no matter what is going on, obviously everything's contextual, but whatever. Whatever is going on, you're gonna go over here and you're gonna go bam. You're gonna hane that, and then they're gonna probably do this, and then you're gonna hane again, and this makes these stones so weak that like it just destroys them. Um, So they never want to do that. They always want to do this. So if you see this, you're in good shape. You're getting some kind of advantage. But if they go like this, you just go into this normal continuation. Like I said, you can pincer or you can come out this way, make them go this way. And that gives you a lot of control over the direction of what's happening. So let me set up a normal board position. So sometimes I like to do dual 3-3 opening. So we go like this, right? Okay. Let's say I approach, they back off, I back off. So now they got Sente, and they're going to go here. So, what direction do you think that we should play this situation? Because we could go this way or this way and end up with the same Joseki. Well, as it turns out, whenever you're playing very territorially, often your opponent will get a bunch of influence, and that influence will often direct the direction of play. And because of that, you actually want to play a more disruptive game, which is a lot more fun because you feel like you're a troll. Because all your opponent's stones, you're just like, oh, okay, well, these are useless and these are useless. And you make them inefficient that way. Um, while you have very defined territory. Another way to say that is that you'll know what you have because you're taking an area on the side of the board, but your opponent has undefined potential, which you get to disrupt. All right. So we can go like this, right? I can go this way and this way. And then we could go like this and I could go here. And this would actually be good for you because as we know, this 4-4 point, and I'll just explain this stuff. So this 4-4 point here wants to go this way, and outwards. And the reason it wants to do that is because of the potential to invade in the corner. So the Josekis will tend to kind of look towards like these directions. Because we know this, we don't want our opponent to kind of build this way because it'll make this stone way too happy. I'm drawing a face. All right. Yeah, it'll make this stone way too happy, so we don't want that. We want to make sure that they're upset. So it's actually in your opponent's best interest to play over here, to play this, to kind of feed into this situation. Anyway, so you don't want to push this way because this way makes it too easy for them to get this position with this Joseki. Because if you go like this, then you're probably going to want a pincer on this side. And maybe that's not too bad, but like I said, this one wants to kind of go towards the center and towards the sides. And this is kind of also going towards the center. And it's kind of getting like a situation where you're kind of surrounding like this, and you're going to want to attack this. Um, so that's not ideal. So usually you want to block the other way. We'll show some other variations like this. Um, if you don't want a pincer, this is good for your opponent because, like I said, it's going that way. Um, but if you block this way, then you're getting out on this side, and your opponent can play over here, but it's not as good because you can push out this way a lot easier. And that's a Joseki. So I'll show one other situation. So, like, let's say this is how we started out. You got out on this side, they go over here. And then if your opponent, I guess it's your turn, maybe you want to make an extension over here, they back off. And your opponent plays this one. So usually, again, we want to be as disruptive as possible because we have a territory advantage. Um, and the more disruptive we play, the more nothing points are created, or dame, they call it dame. The more dame that gets created, the more it favors you. It's kind of like, and some people might be familiar with this. If you have a slight material advantage, like in chess, because you're like one knight ahead of your opponent, you know that it favors you to take even trades because the even trades will actually end up leaving you with uh, more points at the end of the game. And it marches towards the end of the game. So, more fighting and chaos you create towards the center whenever your opponent needs points in there, um, the more likely you are to win. So, that's pretty cool. But anyway, so this situation, your opponent plays here. Um, we want to do a very similar thing. We want to come out on this side, and then they might want to do this, but then look, that's pretty awkward with these stones because you could do a shoulder hit and then separate them if you wanted to. You also come out this way, but if they do this, that's pretty bad for them because they can't get like a full three space extension easily without giving you something. And obviously, this isn't like the most beautiful example in a game ever, but anyway, if you're a beginner, this would be a really great Joseki to try. And I'll do some other 3-3 Joseki examples. I think I'll make a video that's just like talking about some of the there's completely like brain dead Josekis with the 3-3, and it's very surprising to me that they don't teach beginners to play the 3-3. Um, I know that it's biased towards territory, but I don't think that's a bad thing starting off as a beginner. But anyway, hope you guys have a fantastic day, and see ya.